All right. Welcome back to the second unit where we are going to bust whatever myths you may have about coaching. You could be a new manager or leader, or you could be in this role for many years now. It doesn't matter because I am pretty certain that you have at least one myth about coaching that you carry around with you that probably would impact the way that you coach or what do you think about coaching people. I have been managing people since 1986. And I can tell you that in this 35-year period, I have a lot of myths, although I am a certified coach. And even after my certification, some of these myths I still struggle with. And therefore, I have to also break my myths on my own through either research or discussing with my fellow coaches, my peers, or even with some of my master coaches or my own coaches who coach me in coaching. Right. So let's get cracking about what these myths are. Now, what I'm going to do starting off is first of all, please do not refer to the handout. If you have it already printed or maybe you have it saved digitally, don't refer to that. What I would like you to do is an exercise that I want you to do now, which is take 3 minutes. Time yourself 3 minutes. Now, I'm not going to fill up 3 minutes with white space or silence here. So I would encourage you to do it. Don't move on. Pause the video when I tell you to pause it. And in the next 3 minutes during this exercise, list down all the myths that you have in your mind. Let's see how many you have come up with. Mine is double digits. And that would be interesting. That would be a good exercise, a good way to purge whatever is going through in your mind about the myths, because we need to get these myths or at least acknowledge these myths in this unit, and then we can move forward. These myths are going to be handled over the next in the next unit in various lessons. So why don't we do this now? So take a piece of paper, any piece of paper, just jot down all the myths that come into your mind, all that you can remember. So I would encourage you to pause the video now. You haven't paused it yet? Go ahead, pause it now and see you in 3 minutes' time. All right, so we are back, and I hope you took the entire 3 minutes, or maybe even longer, or maybe even shorter. It doesn't really matter. What's more important that you have done this exercise and that you have tried to dump everything in your mind about the myths on coaching. So, myth number one is that I hear this pretty often. Oh, I can't coach because I'm not certified. Now, honestly, guys, do you really think that the top business leaders in the Fortune 500 companies or Fortune 1000, they have time to go through coaching certifications? Of course, some of them do, but not the majority. It's only a minority who go through coaching certifications. So that's first thing that you need to carry along with you. You don't need to be certified as a coach in order to coach those who are reporting to you. Now, coaching certification is a requirement for people like me because we are professional coaches. And therefore, when we try to intervene with companies, one of the first things that I always get from HR department is who certified you and what type of coaching certification do you have. So it's a big deal for the human resource department. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, who cares? You don't need to be certified as a coach to coach people who report to you and to make sure that your business runs and thrives and grows. Let's have a look at myth number two. Coaches are born and therefore you can't learn it. So there is not even a point in being certified as a coach, even if you wish to, because it's a waste of time, according to those who have these beliefs or this belief. that coaches are born. Now, I have not come across any medical research that shows that there is a magic gene that good coaches have, or that bad coaches don't have that gene, whatever that gene is. Although I have seen, and this is interesting, about 5 to 7 years ago, I came across a research, a genetic research done in London, where they discovered that there is a leadership gene. There is truly a leadership gene. But that's a discussion for another time, whether this gene really makes you a good leader or not. We can argue. But for this unit where we are talking about coaching, or this training where we are talking about coaching, there is no such gene, not that I have come across. If you have, that would be great for us to discuss in this program, or maybe outside of this program. So that's myth number 2, doesn't exist. Myth number 3, remote coaching is difficult. Everybody is so used to face-to-face interactions that we think that, no, we can't do coaching remotely. It doesn't work. Well, I've been doing remote coaching since 2012, and it has worked fine. None of my clients who I have coached remotely have ever said it doesn't work. So there are ways of making remote coaching work. And by remote coaching, it could mean phone, landline, it could mean your mobile, it could mean Zoom, it could mean Skype, or any other tool that you want to use. Any digital tool or the traditional landline works. It has worked for me, and we will be going through this program about how it's going to work for you as well. There are tricks that you can use to make this work. So myth number 4 is you should coach low or non-performers much more than top performers. I get this a lot, where people say that top performers don't need coaching. That's what they are trying to imply. And it's totally wrong. Again, there is no research to show that when you focus on non-performers, your business will bloom as more than if you focus or do coaching of top performers. Now, the rationale of people who say this is that they believe that top performers are doing well and therefore they can't improve. That's where they're coming from, which is totally non-substantiated by any sort of evidence out there from research. So take this out of your mind. What I'm trying to get here is you should coach everyone who is reporting to you, regardless of whether they are top performers or low performers or middle performers. Everybody can improve. Myth number 5 is that coaching boosts skills. No, coaching does not boost skills. I'll tell you upfront here itself, although I'm being premature here, I'm going ahead of myself, that coaching is not to boost skills. Coaching is for something else, which I shall reveal when we are going through that, the next unit, where we come through that lesson of who is coaching for. So coaching is not to boost skills. It is to achieve another objective. Myth number 6 is coaching boosts revenues. So therefore, when somebody improves their performance, your revenues are going to go up, or your sales is going to be boosted. Not necessarily true, because not everything is about sales. It could be other metrics that could be involved as well. So I've just thrown in a term here which is known as metrics, or in another term, it is KPIs, or key performance indicators. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking at. What are the metrics that we use in order to ensure that coaching works? So it's not just sales. Myth number 7 is coaching, mentoring, and training are all the same. It doesn't matter what you do. So you can mix and match coaching with mentoring or training. So we will be going through the definition of each one of these, because we have to be very clear. What is the objective of coaching? What is the objective of mentoring? What does training do? Never mix up all these 3, or even any 2 of them, or coaching with mentoring or coaching with training when you are coaching. You have to be very clear what your objective is. And therefore, we will be looking at what the objectives of coaching what the objectives of coaching are when we are discussing that topic. Myth number 8, coaching takes too long to show results. Well, if coaching takes too long to show results, I would be happy to find out what intervention is available out there which will show results in the snap of a finger. I would have done this a long, long time ago if this was available. Now, nothing exists like that. People have tried all sorts of things. If you are in sales, you would probably be familiar with tools that have been rolled out to boost sales. And you could have spent millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars on these kind of systems, and you see that your revenues are boosted by just 2%, 3%, or improvement in some other area is very, very minuscule. So what's going on? Something else is at work here, which we need to tackle, which is what coaching does. So we shall look into that, and I'll be showing you some data which will probably blow your mind when you see this. And you will probably slow down on investing in these kind of tools or interventions. So it's the point I'm trying to make here. And this is something I discovered years ago when I was creating a program for the military. And the first thing that hit me was investing in hardware, even in the military. Investing in hardware is not going to bring you as much success as investing in the software. And what is the software? The software is this one inside here and probably here. Your brain or your mind and your heart. That's where the software is. So that's going to be an interesting lesson when we go through that. It is going to blow your mind open, and you're going to discover certain things that people have been talking about wrongly. So moving on to myth number 9. Oh, coaching takes too much of my precious time. Now, if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are even a corporate leader, what is your job if it is not to develop your people? Your life becomes so much easier when you develop people and they do things on their own without depending on you too much. Isn't that what a leader's role is supposed to be? Not to be micromanaging, but to develop people, to develop your organization, to develop your division, your team, and your people individually, each one of them. Imagine how beautiful, how smooth your life would become as a leader, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, when the people who report to you work independently. Imagine the really important stuff that you could be focusing on that are demanding so much, that are taking you away from that, because micro tasks are taking up so much of your time. Myth number 10 is coaching doesn't work. It doesn't improve performance. On the contrary, and I'm going to be showing you some mind-blowing statistics which will show you, and this is probably the only data that exists out there, and I've been hunting for this kind of data which shows coaching versus training. That's what I'm going to be showing you. A lot of people focus so much on training, they ignore the power of coaching. And this one study I'm going to show you, which is quite a large study, and is going to show you the difference between training and coaching. And this too is going to brainwash you to view coaching as probably the most powerful tool that exists today, that you don't need to spend any money on, besides, of course, the investment in this program. But you don't need to invest in any expensive tools whatsoever to boost the productivity and performance in your organization. So that's it, guys. I told you I have double-digit number of myths. That's it. There are only 10 that I could come up with, and I've been struggling to crack my head over several weeks to see what are the myths that I have been carrying around with. And this is what I remember. And this is not just my own myths that I have had in the past, that I even now currently have, or rather I don't have it anymore, but these are also coming from clients that I work with, because this is one of the first things that either the business owner, the entrepreneur, or the division leader, or the leader of the organization tells me, hey, James, does coaching work? Because I think it doesn't work because of these issues that need to be handled, right? So we will be going through that. And if you have more than 10, more than what I have covered here, please, I think it'll be interesting to find out what they are. Share it with me, send me an email, and I probably would include that in the lessons that are coming up in the next unit. All right, so I hope this has been useful for you. It has helped you release some of these myths, acknowledge some of these myths that you may be having, because it will make the lessons that we are going to go through in the next unit much more powerful, it will resonate more with you, especially if you carry some of these myths with you. And it will help you overcome them and smash them. So you leave it behind after you go through this training program. All right. Thanks once again. So we shall meet in the next unit. Bye bye.